Hey yo, welcome to Clackbait. Now Alice layouts. So you may be asking, what the heck are those weird looking keyboards? Well, if you're familiar with ergonomic keyboards like this Logitech, it's a similar concept, but the mechanical keyboard version. It makes your wrist placement go from this to a more comfortable, natural resting position like this. Which could help with typing fatigue and reduce the risk of carpal tunnel. So today we'll be taking a look at the Bear 65 V2 by Jackie Design. This is a 65% gasket mounted Alice board starting in group buy July 12th through the 18th for the price of $350 for the aluminum weight and going up to $399 for the brass weight version. The board I have for review is the brass version. Chill! So let's dive in and see how it sounds, see how it feels. Cue the music, hit the B-roll. Quick note, I just launched my Discord server this week. If you're looking for a community to discuss all things mechanical keyboard related, I'd personally like to invite you using the link in the description. I'm currently running a launch giveaway with a couple of keycap sets from the good people over at Canon Keys that ends in a couple of days, so you might want to get in there quick. There's gonna be a lot more giveaways coming soon, along with some behind the scenes stuff. I look forward to seeing you all there. Okay, back to the Bear. So the Bear 65 V2 kit comes with the case in either WinKey or WinKeyless. The version that I have is the WinKey version. It also has a 1.6mm hot swap PCB with VIA support and RGB underglow, which will be clutch for the polycarbonate version. It's fleshed out with flex cuts that seem to be fairly stiff compared to the other PCBs that I've tried, but that's most likely due to the decision of going with the 1.6mm PCB. Now more on the flex cuts in just a bit. There are also two JST connectors on the bottom of this PCB, just in case one of them fails, you have a backup. Now there will be a hot swap and solder version of this PCB in the group buy. Both support stepped caps lock, and the solder version also supports split backspace. Now if you choose to go with the aluminum plate, it does have leaf spring cutouts for the mounting points. Now I also did receive a polycarbonate plate, which obviously has a lot more flex, and the mounting points are standard because the plate is flexy enough. There'll also be the brass and the FR4 plate option in the group buy if that's your jam. Included in the kit are going to be two sets of gaskets. One is going to be 2.5mm thick for the top case and 2mm for the bottom case. Now since I'm living that prototype life, I got two sets of 2.5mm. We'll make it work. You'll also get the daughter board and the JST cable, and interestingly enough, this keyboard only comes with plate foam. So no PE foam, no case foam, simple and straightforward. The colors that are going to be available in the group buy are going to be black, E-white, E-purple, blue, pink, and a polycarbonate version. Now the case has a front height of 19mm and a 6-degree typing angle, making this really comfortable to type on. Fully built, this Bear weighs 4.32 pounds or 1.96 kgs for the homies in the East. The Bear 65 V2 is definitely a looker. Jackie makes some really nice boards, and the quality of the finish is really nice. It's made from 6063 aluminum, and the finish on here is pretty flawless on my unit. No streaks, no blemishes on the ano, so the group buy units should be outstanding. The V2 brought on some subtle changes from V1. The overall design is just more symmetrical, and they lowered the front height just a bit for even better ergonomics. The USB-C port is centered and it's not fully recessed, so you can see some of the connectors sticking out. It would have been nice if this went in further for better durability of the connector and the overall look. The weight is made in a bear claw shape with the word Bear on it. This comes in either aluminum, brass, or an E-white coated brass. I really like the look of this weight. Now like I mentioned before, there's going to be two options for the Bear 65, WinKey and WinKeyless. The WinKeyless has a Bear logo that's engraved by the right space bar, which really looks awesome. I think it's kind of a miss not having it on the WinKey variant. The empty space right here on the right would have been a good place to put that logo. If I had a choice between the two, I'd definitely go for the WinKeyless. I think it looks much sharper, and I really like that Bear. Damn Bear, the typing feel for this board is what you would expect out of a gasket mount. It has a good amount of bounce, and the overall typing experience is fairly soft. I wouldn't say that this board has a lot of flex, but it does have some nice travel when you press down. As I mentioned before, the flex cuts on this PCB don't flex as much as traditional layout PCB with flex cuts do. This is due to the shorter cuts, due to the innate shape of the Alice PCB. Also, most modern PCBs with flex cuts are 1.2 millimeters, which aids in the ability to flex. Found the decision to go with the 1.6 millimeter PCB with flex cuts to be pretty interesting. After all that being said though, the typing feel is still very nice on this Bear 65. Now, as far as the sound is concerned, the Bear sound is what you'd expect from a gasket mount keyboard. With the aluminum plate, the board sounded nice and crisp, the alphas were bright, and the spacebar sounded pretty good. I paired the Bear with some FLC, MMC, Ice Mint linear switches. Damn, that's a mouthful. These are all palm Kailh switches that are pretty smooth and sound great stock. Spring weight is pretty light though, so make sure it's right for you or just spring swap. This is the first board that I've tried these switches in, and I'm really impressed by them. You can pick these up at Candy Keys using the link in the description if you're interested, and check it out. So I decided to try out the polycarbonate plate, leaving the plate foam installed. Overall, I preferred the sound with the polycarbonate plate as it gave me a slightly deeper sound and a poppy sound signature versus the aluminum. After that, I decided to tape up the flex cuts to see if I can get a bit more sound out of the board. I didn't do the full tape mod since I'm not a big fan of that sound signature, so I added just enough tape to cover up the flex cuts and avoid covering the bottom of the switches. So sit back and admire this ghetto tape job for a second. Yeah, the tape definitely increased the sound output. This is using the same mic settings and placement with no adjustments to the sound. Check it out. So overall, I'd say if you're looking for a custom Alice board, give the Bear 65 V2 a strong consideration. The build process is really simple and straightforward. It doesn't depend on foam. The build quality, fit and finish are excellent. The design is visually appealing with a nice weight design, and I think the board is priced well for what it is. I think you'll be happy with the sound of this keyboard. There is a slight bit of hollowness. It's probably picking up more in the camera and the mic than it is in real life, but it's nothing that a little bit of polyfill can't cure. A couple of things I'd like to see included in the kit would be a couple of extra gasket strips per sheet, just in case you mess up on the installation or tear one when removing them from the sheet. Mine had just enough to cover the board. I'd also like to see them add a full suite of foams, specifically case foam and PE or EVA foam. The board definitely doesn't need them to sound good, but it's a nice option for those that are looking for those sound signatures. And with an Alice layout, it's hard to find foams cut to the right spec. It's all about choice. That's all I got for you guys. Drop a like if you enjoyed the content, subscribe if you want to see more. Until next time, peace.